What is going on, boys? It has been almost a month, a little bit over a month since Master Duel has come out, and I just wanted to share my opinions. I had my first initial reactions and first initial reviews of the game when it first came out, and I just kind of wanted to talk about it. I'm sure you've seen the Steam charts. It feels like every content creator has been looking at the Steam charts for the game, so there's nothing new there to talk about. But there are some things I wanted to bring up, and some other future things about Master Duel I want to bring up. First and foremost, I still am very happy with Master Duel. It is insane what Konami is doing with this game. It's weird because I'm not used to saying good things about Konami. Usually I'm saying very, very awful things about Konami. I'm not used to saying things that are very positive about the company. But we just had the Exceed event happen in Master Duel, and that Exceed event had a couple of loopholes that were all hit very, very, very quickly. So that's pretty cool. I've never seen Konami respond so fast, and I've never seen them communicate as fast as they've ever done in the game itself. There's also been a lot of hacks going around in the game. I haven't really talked about them. Kamel's talked about them more, and pretty much all of them, except for one, I think right now that's like relatively fresh, have all been hit really, really, really fast and quick response time when it comes to Konami and their typical response time to these types of things. So I'm excited to see that. I'm excited to see what else they're going to be doing with the game. Looking at the analytical part of it, you can kind of see the honeymoon phase is over, if you will. Right now, there's 45,000 peak players. It's because when I'm recording this video, it's not exactly prime time. But if we look at the 7-day graph, the weekly graph, you can kind of see that it does cap out at 90 to 100K per day or so during that prime time hour, with lows being around that 45,000 kind of player mark has kind of pretty much been the go-to. You can see the dips here are pretty much just maintenance times and stuff like that for the game. This is also taking into account Elden Ring release, which has obviously everyone's playing Elden Ring, and then YCS is happening right now. So pretty good numbers. I would say overall, you could see the peak of all time, 262,000 on Steam, which is obviously much, much bigger than any other Yu-Gi-Oh game they've ever had, comparing that to something like Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links, which before was their largest kind of internet provider. But now it's all Master Duel for the most part. As from Konami's perspective, that's where all the players are. There have been a few concerns that I've had with the game. For example, the monetization of the game is a little worrisome because not because of what you think. This game is extremely free to play. Maybe too free to play because as it stands right now, I have not spent like any money besides day one, where I wanted to create content as fast as possible and didn't realize I didn't have to spend money. And I feel like a lot of people are starting to get to that point. Where it's like, yeah, I'm not 100% sure if if this game is going to be making as much money as a game like Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links, which is actually funny to think. We won't really know until official numbers come out. And once those official numbers do come out, we'll be able to tell. Because right now, the only people spending money are people who are just too lazy to make a new account, or they're not good enough to constantly hit platinum. Because here's the thing, even if you don't make a new account, you can just hit platinum every single season, do your logins every single season, and you're still going to get like 3,000 to 4,000 gems every single month before events. And then, of course, we had the event come out, the Exceed Festival, which gave us a ton of gems. So, now it's getting to the point where it's like, okay, this is a little too free to play. Is this going to make money for Konami? Are they going to continue supporting it once they realize it's not making as much money as they originally thought? And again, I could be completely wrong with this. This is just a kind of whoa, let's make sure everything is fine type of thing. Because for all we know, everyone wailing for like the prismatics and the royal finishes and stuff like that, maybe they're carrying the game financially. I have no idea, if I'm being honest. And if they are, how often are we going to get box releases? Are we going to catch up with the official game so those whales can continue, wailing on the game? I know some people have wanted to craft like royal finishes and stuff like that. In my personal opinion, until we get like concrete evidence, or I guess after we get concrete evidence, we can kind of say, I think it would make more sense for Konami to completely hold the cosmetic side of this game hostage, if you will, behind like pay to win. I've always thought that cosmetic stuff should be like the pay to win aspect to a game where the actual base game is free to play, right? For example, in League of Legends, to buy a skin, you would have to actually spend real money. There is a system in place where you don't, where you can grind out the skin, but it takes so significantly longer that you may as well just pay for it. If we're being completely honest, I wouldn't mind a system like that. I think at first they should start with a paywall and then maybe move on to something where you can grind like those rarities. Because in all honesty, even if you were able to get like if it's like 90, for example, URs to get a royal finish, that's still a huge investment that you're probably gonna have to pay to win for anyway, right? So I guess it would still work out for them either way is kind of what I'm saying. But basically, more cosmetics for more real life money, because I think that is the way to go. I think people will pay for those cosmetics, and I think Konami's starting to see that a little bit. Alternate arts, for example, as well, could be something they could add to the game. For the company to make more money off of. I think that will be good. And you might be thinking, why do you want them to make so much money? Why do you care so much? Because I don't want them to later down the line change their mind and be like, oh, we're not making any cash. Let's change the system and start selling cards for money and stuff like that. I want it to stay free to play. So I'm hopeful that A, it's making them money, and B, that if it's not making the money, they know how to make money through cosmetics. That is my wishes for the game. Outside of that, I love how free to play it is. It's very easy to make content for the game because it's so free to play. I can play whatever deck I want. The other thing to talk about is they're making Master Duel into an esport, which is going to be interesting because for those that don't know, Master Duel is just like all, Konami games, you can't exactly make it an esport because they can't offer cash prizes. It's got something to do with the creator not wanting the cash prize and always wanting it to be like a physical prize, like an iPad or a PS5 or something like that. The thing is, when I think of esports, and I think when a lot of people think of esports, they're thinking League of Legends, Dota, CSGO, they're thinking about website or leagues like that, right? And people who go from being like competitive players to professional players, where you're essentially making a living by playing the game and becoming that esport athlete, it's not going to be viable to just like win your prize card or win your prize console and then go sell it. You know what I mean? It does need to be like a monetary thing, especially when you get to taxes and government visas and stuff like that. You have to show that what you're doing is comparable to like a job. So that is kind of where we're looking at when we're getting into the entire aspect of esport, right? If they are going to make it an esport, I'd rather they just do it right from the get-go. No weird Konami shortcuts, prize pool, and a proper tournament system set up. We don't even have like an official Master Duel format. We're all assuming it's the TCG and OCG format. Why wouldn't it be, right? Like, what reason would they have to actually change it? We don't know, right? We just don't know. So we just that's where all community tournaments, they just copy those. But we don't actually have an official Master Duel tournament. We don't know if they're going to do KC Cup. We don't know if they're going to go into KCGT. We don't know a lot of that stuff. So it would be very nice to kind of know what they want to do and what their plans are, or if these are just like empty words, which they could be. Again, it is Konami. They've done a few good things. That doesn't wipe away the millions of bad things they've done in the back, and there's still Konami, the company. So these could just be empty words and them just talking and trying to hype the game up. I would love to see this game transform into an esport. I think it definitely has the potential to become one. I think Yu-Gi-Oh as a card game is the most exciting card game to watch. A lot of card games are very boring and very dull. Yu-Gi-Oh has some insane blowout plays and blowout turns, and you're watching this guy just pop off and you're just like, how did you open that well? Blah, just the ways that you would get hyped in a card game. A lot of people are like, oh, you can't get hyped in a card game. I disagree. I think you absolutely can. You just need a game that has, kind of a lot of plays in a single turn like Yu-Gi-Oh! Not so much a game that's, restricted by a mana system like Magic the Gathering or something like that. I think if you just had something like, I think Yu-Gi-Oh has the best shot of being an esport. Is basically what I'm trying to say for like card games from like a spectator perspective. So that's my opinion on the overall kind of the esports side of the game, and that's pretty much it. Overall thoughts: I am loving the direction the game is going. I can't believe how well Konami is handling everything. I hope that we get some new box releases soon. I hope that ranked. We can actually get to King of Games. I hope there's an ELO system. That's been something I've been begging for since the Duel Links days. I want an ELO system so badly. I think that is where ladder can actually be taken some level of competition in, where right now we just ignore ladder. It's super easy. We don't really care about it. And hopefully these kind of player numbers stay the same, I think having a low of 45 and a high of 100,000, which is half of your all-time peak, is very good, especially when new cards come in. And then, yeah, I guess in general, I would also like to catch up with TCG, OCG. I don't really want to be like a set or two behind, especially if this is supposed to be like an esport. I would like to be on the same set always, even if it is a different ban list than those other formats. So those are pretty much my thoughts of Master Duel, kind of 30 days in. My new review, I still think it's an amazing game. We'll check back in a month and see how we're feeling. Peace out, boys.